Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got the NFL preventing Asics from being great, the Nike LeBron 22 commercial being the GOAT already, New Balance loafers being cool, the week's hottest releases for both humans and dogs, and of course, a Hard Pass. Now, obviously, I'm not in the studio this week. I'm in the hotel in San Antonio, but that is what it is. All right, let's start the show with some hot takes. Okay. Let's do a hard pass on the NFL because why not? Last year, while playing for the Buffalo Bills, Stefon Diggs wore a pair of unique Asics GT 2160 cleats designed by a friend of the program, Mosh Customs, for one game. Diggs, formerly of Jordan Brand, signed with Asics last year. I mean, talk about great timing, right? Despite being around forever, Asics is seen by this generation of sneakerheads as a brand that's on the rise. It's like they just discovered Gel Cayanos, a runner with 30 iterations and counting, and were like, whoa, where have you been all my life? Anyways, what better athlete to sign than one of the NFL's best wideouts? If Diggs balls out, those Asics are going to be front and center every week. Except they can't be front and center every week because apparently you have to pay the NFL an obnoxious amount of money to show your logo on their programming. Diggs got away with it for one game, and this year, despite having that Asics deal, he's rocking Nike cleats customized by Mosh to look like iconic Kobe's. Look, I get it. The NFL stands for no freeloaders, and their popularity in America is such that in some sick way, it's actually worth the millions in fees that Nike and Adidas pay for the swoosh, the Jumpman, and the three stripes to be seen on game day on top of what they already have to pay the athletes they endorse. Under Armour didn't think it was worth it, and that's why Tom Brady, a longtime Under Armour guy, played the final years of his career with taped up cleats that blocked out the UA logo. I'm not saying Asics should pay whatever fee the NFL is extorting from them, but when you consider the wave the brand is experiencing right now, it has to, or at least be in consideration. Or, for maximum attention, if I'm Asics and Diggs, just wear the Asics cleats for one game again, pay whatever fine is coming his way, and use that in an ad campaign a la the Air Jordan 1 band commercial. Speaking of Diggs, he also recently made headlines for rocking Adidas sneakers to the NFL Hall of Fame game. According to an interview Complex Sneackers recently did with Mosh, Diggs appears to have free reign to do whatever he wants despite the Asics deal. Here's the quote. So Diggs is more about doing what he wants as opposed to being bound. Being a free agent is the best for him, just because then he can do whatever he wants without any repercussions. So, to recap, Diggs is signed to Asics, released a special colorway of the Gel Nimbus 10.1 that he called his first signature shoe, and can wear Adidas and tunnel walks and custom Kobe's on the field. Did Jaylen Brown not call Asics or something? This feels like the thing he always wanted. Switching gears here. I can't recall the exact year, but sometime in the early 2010s, I saw a pair of Prada loafers with a massive air bubble unit that would make the Air Max Scorpion blush. At the time, I thought they looked like abominations on your feet that should never have been attempted without the assistance of Nike, who knows a thing or two about air bubbles. Like, it just screamed, who is this for? Not that I had a problem with sneaker brands and high fashion labels colliding, but that particular attempt by Prada to give their wingtips some swag or street cred or whatever approval from the sneakerhead community, it just never sat well with me. It felt like pandering or punching down for some reason. But fast forward to 2024 and you've got Nike working with Louis Vuitton, Adidas teaming up with Prada, Puma releasing a hooping shoe with Balmain. The list goes on. Even New Balance recently teamed up with Laurel P&E for some $1,500 990s. These luxury brands figured out the way to the youth is not by doing it themselves, but rather teaming up with names that were already trusted. That being said, when it's the other way around and the sneaker brands are, let's say, leveling up and then releasing, say, a loafer that looks like a New Balance 1906, I don't have a problem with it. It's a punch-up, you might say. And after the initial offering went viral and sold out last month, New Balance has got another pair of 1906 loafers on the way that's in collaboration with Junya Watanabe. Like, I kinda wish New Balance didn't do that and just kept releasing 1906 loafers without collabing with a designer or a luxury brand just to see how far they could take it. Let's just not take it too far and make luxury Jordan fusions, okay? Like, seriously, nobody's checking for that. The Nike LeBron 22 is here, and to announce the shoe, Nike has released a new commercial that I have to say is peak Nike. You know, we've been talking about how much Nike has fallen off and that they don't do commercials anymore. And I gotta say, while I agree that we haven't seen Nike's best for a while, this new LeBron commercial is maybe the best commercial they've done in years. Hey, I'll say it. It might be the best commercial they've done since the iconic banned Air Jordan 1 commercial. The spot appears to revolve around the concept of pressure and how LeBron has met the challenge through the years. And you can see the LeBron 22 overcoming and crushing those pressures, whether it's the media, the record books, Father Time, and maybe a handful of allusions to teams that he has decimated through the years. Yeah, I think I like that last part the best. I don't know. There's something about LeBron just shutting down his opponents and wrecking their hopes and dreams that I can rock with, you know? It's a special commercial. Moving on. Our pick of the week for dogs is going to be the Crocs Pet Clogs on the 23rd for $50 each. For the first time ever, we are going with non-human sneakers for our pick of the week, and it is the Crocs Pet Clogs, which is either a genius marketing move by the people at Crocs or something that is going to annoy a lot of dogs who are not used to wearing something on their paws. As a dog owner myself, I'm not sure where my pup lies, but co-writer has 2 dogs and he knows one is going to love it and the other, well, just might eat it. The duality of man. Puppers. The pick of the week for humans is the Tekken 8 Nike Air Foamposite 1 Jin Kazama. This is on October 25th for $250. It's a follow-up to the Kazuya pair that dropped earlier this year at the EVO 2024. Now, this one can be found on the feet of his son Jin in the game. The sneaker connection between the two is about the only positive thing in their relationship if you really think about it. No word on whether these will come back in devil form to kick your ass if you throw it off of a cliff, but be warned. Keeping things in the video game side of things, a quick shout out to co-writer's favorite, Electronic Gaming Monthly. It's an institution in the world of video game magazines during the 1990s and the 2000s, and a group of former editors and contributors have joined forces to launch a Kickstarter campaign for a book that celebrates the legacy of EGM. Not surprisingly, nostalgia freaks ate the campaign up and funded it in less than a day. Why? Because EGM is a reminder of how good gamers had it back then. Not to say that coverage of video games today is all bad, because the wide breadth of the internet has allowed those who didn't have a voice before the chance to speak on topics in the culture they deem interesting and worthwhile. But there was something magical about the old days of video game journalism when it was actually just about video game journalism and not the culture war bullshit that it mutated into. Anyways, congrats to the crew for funding the campaign that fast, and hopefully they can find a way to squeeze co-writer into that I Am Sushi X tier so he can get his name into EGM for once. It would be a dream come true for him. All right, and one more video game before we get into the hard pass. Co-writer finished Astrobot, and he's fairly confident that it will be his game of the year. Now, he said the same thing after he finished and got the Platinum Trophy in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth after playing it on and off for several months, and when he beat every deck in Balatro earlier this year. What I'm trying to say is whatever the last game co-writer finishes in 2024 will probably be his game of the year, but back to Astrobot. Co-writer believes it's among the best platformers he's ever played, and it's on par with some of the top tier 3D Super Mario games. Like, take away the nostalgia bait that is littered throughout the game, and the actual mechanics of playing Astrobot is near flawless. There's an ease to moving Astro around the world that it actually lulls you into thinking you are better than you actually are. You will blow by most of the base levels and find most of the bots you're trying to rescue with little pushback, but those one-off challenge levels, they will have you sweating. I know, because I've seen co-writer nearly throw his controller in frustration several times because of Splashing Sprint, aka the real final boss of the game. But yeah, about the nostalgia bait. Astrobot is like that old sneakerhead who might not have all of the latest and greatest, but if you look at their collection, they're going to have something that knocks you off your feet. It could be a bot that's based on an obscure PlayStation 1 game that you swear no one else played but you. Levels that pay homage to franchises both big and small and thought to be forgotten. Or original music that isn't about stuffing the soundtrack with big name artists. It's a collection that is so in the weeds that about the only thing you can fault it for is not having a pair of Air Jordan 1s, which in Astrobot's case is not having any Final Fantasy characters. In the era when EGM thrived, co-writer thinks Astrobot could probably be the mascot that PlayStation was always searching for. From Crash Bandicoot to Ratchet and Clank to CJ and San Andreas, PlayStation was never able to pin that mascot title on anybody for too long because the library was basically so large and the audience was so diverse in their taste that no one character could fully embody what the PlayStation brand was. It took them 30 years, but it feels like they may have finally found the one with, apologies to Polygon Man, of course. Gee, I wonder why that didn't take off. Anyway, it's time for this week's Hard Pass. We're take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. Like DJ Khaled Air Jordans that drop at retail because, buddy, the people are not buying them. But also, maybe that was the plan all along. See, according to multiple outlets, Jordan Brand is getting ready to release 2 new colorways of the We The Best Jordan 5s, a follow-up to 2022's Jordan 5s that feature Khaled's branding. The response from the community, as you might imagine, has not been positive. Lots of chatter about bricks for some reason. Now, I'll be honest, I don't have a rooting interest in the DJ Khaled versus the internet who seems to not get DJ Khaled feud. You see it every time either Khaled posts whatever he's up to or a media outlet is reporting on what Khaled is up to. The comments come for Khaled with a level of spite that borders on personal. It's always, oh, no one cares about Khaled, or why are you posting this, or he doesn't deserve those Jordans, and so on and so on. Look, if you're tired of the DJ Khaled shtick, I get it. If he has taken stances that you don't agree with, well, welcome to 2024, where perfect is the enemy of good. If he has done you wrong personally, you have every right to be a Kendrick to his Drake. And that's why Jordan Brand might want to reconsider those meetings they keep having with Khaled. Let's take a look at Khaled's output with Jordan Brand. He's been working with the brand as an ambassador since 2015, receiving care packages and hyping up everything from general releases to limited retros to even the occasional lifestyle pair. In the early days, Khaled would come up with specific nicknames for each pair, like calling something the Grateful 11s or the Thankful 3s. There were so many, it just blurred after a while. In time, Khaled would give up on blessing each sneaker with a nickname and just call everything Steel in the meeting. Like, that's how he would say it. Steel in the meeting. Sometimes it would come with a chuckle or a snort or an exhausted sigh, but yeah, all of his Jordans were in a meeting that never ended. And then there's the massive sneaker closet. No matter how you want to spin it, Khaled's collection of Jordans are among the most impressive out there. Sure, there's the super rare player exclusives that cost him an arm and a leg, but if you look closely, there are some Spizikes and French blue 12s and white and gold mid 1s on the shelves. Whether or not Khaled knows those are the basics or he's convinced himself that every sneaker is a gift from MJ himself is irrelevant. They're all on display, and that's pretty cool. Along with his exorbitant sneaker closet are his We The Best exclusives. You got the Jordan 3s that are named after his albums, followed by the 5s. First teased in April 2022, they came in these Easter-esque pastel colors that appear to represent Khaled's home base of Miami. I remember that the hype for these was sizable because of Khaled, but it wasn't on the level of other collabs Jordan Brand had cooking at the time. Here's what we said about the collab at the time. I've seen some people be down on these, critiquing them for being colorways that you might see on the kids' only pair of 5s. I personally can't really see myself rocking any of these sneakers except for the purple one for, well, obvious reasons, but I am happy for Khaled for finally getting a collab that will actually drop in stores. It's also important to note that this was during the sneaker bubble era when the Jumpman could do no wrong. Even if these weren't on an Ama Manier or Cactus Jack level, they were going to sell out because of a combination of the hype, actual Khaled fandom, and the potential return in the resale market. And initially, that seemed to be the case. But then, reality sunk in. The We The Best 5s were a failure in the eyes of the sneaker community. Despite the Khaled hype train and the rave reviews about the quality, the 5s sat on store shelves. Co-writer remembers seeing the Crimson Bliss at a Champ Sports weeks after they dropped. Theories flooded the internet about why they failed to sell. They ranged from picking the 2 worst colorways of the 6 to drop at retail to people not wanting to be seen outside with sneakers that said "We The Best" on the heel. I don't know about that though. Like, none of these reasons are ultimately what doomed Khaled's 5s at retails. People have complaints about hype sneakers all the time, but if it gets them clout, they will rock them anyway. And since when do resellers care about what logo is on the heel of a Jordan 5? Nah. What killed the Khaled 5s was two things: large production numbers and the bubble bursting. According to Khaled and Jordan Brand VP of Entertainment Marketing, Reggie Saunders, the We The Best 5s was the largest collaboration by volume in the brand's history. This wasn't your Off-Whites or Cactus Jack type of collab that was super limited. This was a test balloon by Jordan Brand to see what the appetite would be for a large-scale collab. And the answer is best described by this sound. Once people realized supply was plentiful, they sat. That meant that the only people who bought them were those that actually wanted a pair to rock. Unfortunately, that group wasn't as big as Jordan Brand hoped. And now we're here, with reports of more We The Best 5s on the way. Jordan Retros are at their lowest point in the culture. Khaled is still a polarizing figure in the sneaker community, and tastes have shifted. If I were Jordan Brand, I would reconsider releasing the 5s, unless this was the plan all along. Here's Conspiracy Jacques' take. No brand ambassador is better equipped to handle a sneaker bombing at retail than Khaled. Like, have him celebrate that his collab was produced in large quantities. That's a win to him, even if it means the shoes sit. If Jordan Brand were to suddenly produce Cactus Jack Jordan 1s or the Jumpman Jacks in the same quantities as the We The Best 5s and they bomb, that would be a huge blow to the Travis mystique. If a Khaled sneaker fails at retail, does anybody think that's going to faze Khaled? No. He's going to be out there busy golfing, opening care packages, and asking J Balvin for sample pairs of their collabs. Once these partnerships start wading in the GR waters and they begin to sit on shelves, the shine starts to dull a little. Khaled doesn't give a shit, and in that sense, he was the perfect person to be a test balloon for collabs that get a large production. It doesn't matter to him if the bubble burst or not. He's still going to be the DJ Khaled that people love and others love to hate. Maybe this wasn't a hard pass after all. Is that the first time that's happened in the history of this show? Did we just hard pass on our own hard pass? Wait, is that music gonna? There it is. All right. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week, but not before we leave you with the viewer Hard Pass.
How you doing, Jacques? This is A Wilkes. That's AYE_WILKS. I love your show, and I just want to leave a quick message for the fathers out there. Fellow dads, lean in, all right? That hate that you have for light-up shoes that they sell at Shoe Carnival or Shoe Depot, let that go, all right? Don't pass that to your kids. Let them be free. It will help you both, especially you, financially, right? I didn't even mean for that to rhyme, but as we all know, if it rhymes, it must be true. All right? Don't pass it on to your children. Those light-up shoes, $20. Them Nikes that you like, $50 for a kid's shoe that they'll wear for probably, 2 months? Let it go, man. Get the Spider-Mans. They'll love it. All right? Hey, thank you, Jacques. Appreciate it.
Yo, if you would like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message. Your socials if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see you next week back in the studio. Peace.